Hey y'all, it's the Southern Woods here. Welcome back to another Ages of Conflict War simulation. I'm doing something a little different this time. Alright, I looked up the top 20, 25 heaviest smoking countries in the world, made them an alliance. I looked up the top 20, 25 most dope smoking countries in the world, made them an alliance in the green. Alright, tobacco is brown. And then I looked up the top 20, 25 most non-smoking countries in the world. Alright, and I put them in blue alliance. And we're going to have them all battle each other out. Of course, every other nation will be independent, no alliances for them. And, we've all heard the campaign ads, all right, for, against smoking, all right, all the cancer stuff, smoking dope is not is a joke, shit like that, like, because it is an issue. You don't want people smoking, not good for your lungs and stuff like that. And people, of course, have more mixed feelings about marijuana. I won't get into that, but this is what we're looking into, all right? Who would win? All right, a whole alliance system of dope smokers, a whole alliance system of smokers, or a whole alliance system of non-smokers? Or would they all perish in a big battle royale to someone like Kazakhstan or Colombia or Poland? All right, we're going to find that out right now. So put in the comments below, do you smoke dope? Or do you smoke ciggies? All right, do you smoke them cancer sticks? Maybe you don't smoke at all. Maybe you vape. All right, I thought about putting a vape alliance, but it ended up being a lot of the same countries, and maybe down the road I'll include that. But for now, I wanted more like actual burning of the bud sort of thing. So let's just take a look at the map real quick. All right. And again, I'm not promoting smoking or marijuana or anything like this. It's just a simulation for any of you hotheads out there. Go roll joints. No, I'm not promoting it. All right. The top smoking countries. All right. We got some big names. Russia and China are aligned. That's huge. We also got a lot of these, southeastern European countries, Turkey, Bulgaria, Bosnia-Herzegovina. All right, we also have Egypt and I think Jordan together. So we have kind of this Mediterranean and then Western Asian alliance, all right, because Indonesia is also there. Myanmar, Vietnam, they all smoke ciggies. All right, and that's a pretty big, tough alliance. All right, now they don't have much going on in the Western Hemisphere though, so it's kind of like a risk game. All right, this is what this is looking like, a risk map. Now for the dope smokers, United States, the second most dope smoking country behind, I think it was Iceland. I think Iceland per capita smokes the most marijuana. But we also have Canada and Mexico. All right, we have NAFTA all smoking dope together. Argentina, Chile, Brazil are in alliance with us. That's pretty big. We also have some European nations, Italy, France, the Netherlands, Spain, and then Australia, New Zealand, and a couple African countries like Nigeria and Zambia. Now moving on to the most non-smoking countries. They're mainly African. All right, so Ethiopia, I think, was the top one. But you also have Niger, Senegal, I believe, Guinea, and then the only other ones outside of Africa was Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and then, all right, the Scandinavian countries up here, Sweden, Finland, and Norway. So very interesting. Put in the comments, who do you think will win? Enough talk by me. This has been a long enough intro. Let's run it up and see what ends up happening. I will zoom in, at times, especially for Europe, like currently, just to see what happens, see what ends up going on. All right, Taiwan was the first to fall to China, so the ciggy smokers get the first conquering. All right, we have a lot going on in Europe. All right, and I'm going to try to focus less on, neutral battles like, Afghanistan moving into India, stuff like that. We're trying to focus more on the actual alliances we got going on here. So keep that in mind, because all these other countries also duking it out. But we have Russia, All right, trying to get into Kazakhstan. We have Georgia and whatnot. They're moving out west. Meanwhile, you know, there's some stuff going on in the Caribbean, it looks like. We're getting more. I think we just took over. No, Jamaica's a part of course, Jamaica, you know, is a part of the marijuana group. So kind of just interesting to see where all this will go. Kenya's pushing into Somalia, took out Somalia. That's a big loss for the non-smokers for sure. All right, we know how Somalia is with their AK-47 usage. Now it looks like Ethiopia, all right, historically doesn't fall, but they just fell, all right. They're good, fresh lungs, not helping them out. Niger has moved up northwest. It looks like they may have a conflict with Egypt eventually. We just had Chad fall. Sorry, my handling of this controller's not doing good. So we have this big band in Africa. That's good. Meanwhile, looks like Brazil's pushing down into Uruguay, trying to get most of Southern America. Meanwhile, look at this. All right, Spain made a little bit of a naval landing at some point, it looks like. So marijuana is now on the northern tip of Africa. That's pretty big. And yeah, it looks like most of southern South America has been united under the devil's lettuce. All right, is this a... Uh-oh, no, Jamaica just fell. Jamaica just got taken out by Panama, so that's a huge loss. Huge loss for the dope smokers. Okay? Oh, man. Bob Marley's ghost is now being taken over by the Panamanians. I don't think that's how you pronounce Panama people. Meanwhile, Honduras pushing against Mexico. Mexico would be a huge loss, of course. All right. I'm sure the cartel are in line with the CIA once again to help in this world war. Meanwhile, Russia flailing against Kazakhstan. This would be a huge loss for the ciggy smokers, man. Oh, man. Russia's gone. All right, China, Japan, South Korea, they're all going to try to help get a lot of that before Kazakhstan does because they're all in alliance. Japan, not with America. All right, not with the free lungs either. They smoke ciggies over there, apparently. All right, we just had a big loss over here in Africa once more. All right, they're getting split up. Not good for the Free Lung Alliance. And then we have, you know, Scandinavia. They're not doing too much either. So this is what the map's kind of looking like right now. We have 81 nations left. Let's just look at the statistics real quick. Take a break. Kazakhstan's the largest. All right, neutral party. China. All right, big representation of the ciggies. The Cancer Stick Alliance. Canada and the U.S. Brazil all holding it down for the marijuana. And yeah, I don't think we have a top 10 biggest free lung party, but it's probably one of the Scandinavian states. Let's look at the richest. All right, Canada, the richest right now, followed by Australia, which of course is part of the Kush Kingdom as well. That's the official alliance. Germany, Democratic Republic of Congo, United States. You get the idea. And then let's look at the alliances. The biggest one is the Kush Kingdom so far, followed by the Smokers Coalition, and then the Non-Smoking Alliance. They're not doing too hot, all right? So all those non-smoke believers out there, all right, you're not doing too hot. Let's speed up just a little bit. All right, want to see some things happening here. It looks like Brazil's moving up, all right, trying to continue the conquest of South America for the marijuana smokers. All right, Jordan's getting big. They're doing a pretty good job of taking advantage of the Middle East. We have some big Mediterranean kind of battles going on as Italy pushes south. All right, trying to land in North Africa like they did way back in the day. Big loss for the non-smokers as Norway was conquered by Germany. So Scandinavia struggling here. All right, Tanzania, one of the largest non-smokers left, also struggling against Central African Republic. Sweden trying to take back what was Norway's. Meanwhile, we have Greenland landing on Iceland. All right. Someone else just fell. Vietnam, Myanmar, they both fell. That's a big loss for the smokers. So you see the colors changed. All right. Very light green for the ciggies, more of a darker green for the marijuana smokers, and then like a teal for the non-smokers. It's all going to blend together kind of weird. Now, I am sorry. It was brown for a reason, but I think Myanmar, which was a leader of the Siggy Smoker Alliance, no longer here. All right, there you go. Marijuana is now dark blue because Iceland was conquered by Greenland. So the leader, all right, the king of the Kush has fallen. All right, we have Morocco pushing up against Spain. Spain has fallen. That's a big loss. All right, for the marijuana peeps. Big loss. All right, meanwhile, we have Morocco also expanding within Africa. Morocco's kind of on a tear. Kazakhstan's on a tear. All right. Meanwhile, Kazakhstan, yeah, pushing against Japan, pushing against China. Ooh, not good. Not good for cigarette users, tobacco users in general, to be more specific. Because, I mean, that includes cigars, I suppose. White owls, I guess. Even though I don't know if they have white owls over in China. Maybe they do. They probably have their own thing. White tigers. White pandas. I'm going to shut up. Alright, we have Australia struggling as well. For the Marijuana Alliance. But pretty big win here as Honduras was taken out by the United States. That kind of helps. But Suriname pushing down into Brazil. Brazil's going to fall. Argentina had fallen earlier. So now Chile's the only South American ally for the marijuana folks. Meanwhile, I think, yeah, Italy's the only European ally. They're gonna take out Bosnia and Herzegovina though. So that's bad for the cigarette smokers. Meanwhile, Egypt fell. That's also bad for the cigarette folks. The tobacco folks. Alright, we have less than 40 nations left. As you can see, the neutral party's doing pretty well. Meanwhile, Bangladesh and Sri Lanka both fell to Laos. So, those were the only Asian non-smoking allies, and they're now taken out. So the non-smokers are now condensed to Scandinavia with Sweden, Finland, Tanzania, and Senegal. Only four left. Meanwhile, looking at the Siggies, all right, the Tobacco Alliance, we have Indonesia still, the Philippines. All right, so they're still strong in Micro-Eurasia or Micro-Asia, whatever it's called. Japan still alive, but China's been taken out, right? That's bad. South Korea's been taken out. And their only other friend here is Jordan and Lebanon. And then the rest is marijuana. All right, the Kush Kingdom still have NAFTA, Chile, and Italy. All right, they're all down to about 4 or 5 allies, though. And the rest is neutral parties. Alright, we just had Kenya fall. Alright, so Tanzania is going to get a little bit bigger. They even have a piece of Madagascar. Alright, meanwhile, alright, the Cigarette Alliance all pushing against Kazakhstan together, or attempting to. Meanwhile, Laos is getting bigger as they conquer India. Italy moving into England. Alright, trying to expand. Alright, the Devil's Lettuce patch over in there. Maybe going to get Ireland as well. Meanwhile, Oh, wow. Mexico just fell. The cartel fell. That's big. United States trying to reclaim some of that territory. Meanwhile, Finland expands into Kazakhstan as I think it was one of the other Scandinavian countries fell as well. So Finland and Tanzania actually the only non-smoking countries left. Pretty big development. But at least they're both kind of big, all right? They have some influence, so that's good for them. Meanwhile, over here, New Zealand had fallen at some point, so they can't. It's all up to Australia up here in the micro-Asian places. And they're struggling against Papua New Guinea. Meanwhile, Italy and Canada, both now on their North African campaign. Tanzania completely taken over Madagascar, so it's going to be a big battle between the non-smokers and the Kush smokers, and even the cigarette smokers for Africa. All right, big loss as Finland was conquered by Czechia. So remember, Tanzania is the only non-smoking country left. Fresh lungs be damned, it has not helped you in a battle situation. Italy being flooded by Jordan. Italy's going to be taken out, so the last marijuana smoking European power no longer. Meanwhile, Suriname pushing way up, taking out the southern United States. So U.S. and Canada have a lot to do. Okay, big push from the ciggy smokers. They're making big moves over in former Russian territory, trying to take out Kazakhstan, which has been a huge issue for them, and they're going to do that. They surrounded the capital. Japan, Philippines, Jordan, now pushing against Czechia. Wow. The cigarette smokers all of a sudden look just as big as the marijuana smokers. Kush Kingdom decides to focus their attention on the African campaign some more, and it's paying off. All right, Canada has almost half of Africa right now. Australia has made their landing. Tanzania continues to shrink. They're getting smaller and smaller. But Australia also has to do with Indonesia, all right, in their front over there. So Tanzania lives a little bit longer. Now Canada's trying to land in South America to help Chile out in the United States as they also focus on uniting the Americas in an alliance of pot. Tanzania, their capital, right there, close for the taking. South Africa is being pesky, pushing Australia almost completely out of Africa. Meanwhile, it looks like Australia, all right, almost done taking out this eastern portion or western portion of those islands. And good news for pot smokers everywhere, the Americas have been united. So it looks like it's going to be a big east-west battle between the ciggy smokers and the marijuana rollers, right? We have some independent nations left, mainly Czechia and Laos, Afghanistan, South Africa. South Africa just fell. I jinxed them. And then Tanzania is the only free-lunged nation left, barely hanging on because of their cardio, because of their strong lungs, I'm sure. All right, Philippines had to retreat all the way into the mainland. All right, not good for them. Meanwhile, Tanzania just fell. So any of the non-smokers thinking it would be a rout, you've been greatly mistaken. Philippines just fell. Australia pushing in. Canada trying to finish the job in Africa, as well as Czechia. Czechia is the only neutral country left. It looks like it's going to be between the ciggy smokers and the marijuana smokers. Tobacco versus Kush. The Kush Kingdom. Trying to suffocate Jordan and Japan. A couple J's representing Not the joints, but the cigs. The cancer sticks. We've all heard the ad campaign. Stop smoking. Stop it. Get some help. It's bad for your lungs. Lung cancer's at an all-time high. This is what your lungs look like under ciggies. And then we've also heard the other thing. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Stop smoking marijuana. Stop doing crack. Maybe I should do a whole illicit drug battle. I don't know how well the statistics are for that. Probably pretty good on heroin, on cocaine. There's probably good bad numbers. Maybe ecstasy and PCB, stuff like that too. I don't know. But it's become a sluggish battle now, as Jordan and Japan are hanging on. I'll be back once some real stuff is happening. Japan just fell to Australia. So it is marijuana galore against the last cigarette smoking nation, which ends up being Jordan out of all countries. We'll make it more vibrant now. As we know, Jordan is the only one left outside of the Marijuana Alliance. And it looks like they're going to collapse. Pretty much they have to escape deep into, what would this be? Somewhere in the Middle East, present day. Into the desert. They're Saddam Hussein it up in a hole somewhere in the ground. And Jordan's last rebellions have fallen. So there you have it. If all the biggest marijuana smokers, cigarette smokers, and non-smokers banded together and we all had a big old World War III, the marijuana smokers would come out on top, represented by the United States, who ended up getting the Caribbean and Mexico back, Canada, who ends up getting most of the Western world, Chile, who gets most of South America, and Australia, who gets most of the Eastern world. I think I got my directions mixed up sometimes in this video. Ooh. Anyways, hit me with that like button if you like the simulation. I enjoyed it more than I thought I would, actually. If you want to see different alliances based on health or other stuff, let me know. Hit me with suggestions, and if you want to see more of this or outdoor videos like hunting and fishing or food or drink reviews, you might as well hit that subscribe button and join the Southern Woods community as we continue to grow like the Kush Kingdom. Without further ado, I will see y'all in the next video. Southern Woods out.